So again, I'm Robert Henderson. I'm a solution specialist with the Transportation Asset Network Performance team at Bentley. Um, Today I'll be talking about managing your facility condition and using the FTA requirements. Um, and I'll go through those requirements in greater detail. So I want to talk about, transit reliability needs at a high level. And then the AssetWise Asset Reliability Inspections module is what we will be focusing on today, specifically to tackle the facility condition assessments. And then I'll go into the FTA facility condition assessment requirements and what the state of good repair means. So when we look at our rail and transit reliability needs, there's a lot of them. We look at asset budgeting and planning, maybe bus and rolling stock maintenance, track analytics and forecasting, condition indexing, or maybe we need to provide an interoperability solution to a large EAM. Um, but today I'm going to be focusing my attention specifically on how we tackle the facility management and inspections at Bentley. When we look at AssetWise, asset reliability inspections, it really provides a comprehensive capability tool set with inspection, maintenance, and management of transportation infrastructure. So for the pointers there, when we're looking at meeting agency or federal requirements, that's what this is about today, FTA federal requirement. But UTA is a great example of an agency that achieved compliance with MAP 21 federal regulations using the solution. And the second point there for achieving state of good repair, not only meeting a state of good repair, but New York MTA is a great example of an agency that is looking to go beyond the mandate. So one benefit of the state of good repair is the fact that it is an acting really as a change agent. So it's allowing agencies to look beyond just complying and then having a vision of other possibilities into reliability, and then even getting into designing for reliability for capital projects. And then we look at maximizing the use of transportation asset management information. So collecting the data electronically really is the first step, but then after we remove that traditional pen and paper, what are we doing with the data? So collecting the data, and then how can we add additional benefit with, analytics and machine learning to better understand our assets? Now, supporting all types of transportation infrastructure. So the solution you're going to see is specifically going to address the facility condition assessments, but it's also a solution for bridges, track condition, grade crossing, signals, switches, for example, for some of the assets in transit. So the tools are configurable. So you can make your own inspections that follow your own procedures and processes. So the configuration tools that are available for the user are the same exact tools that Bentley Support uses to support you in developing additional inspection forms. And it's about really streamlining the entire inspection process. So this really is one of the biggest benefits of going digital. So a lot of wasted resources are removed when you implement a digital process for inspections. Now, a big user of the inspection solution are many DOTs, and it has been used a lot in bridges, for example. But also, when we look at rail and transit on the screen there, I added some of the users, which include MARTA, MTA, UTA, Lamada, Montana Rail Link, and MTA Maryland there. Now, when we look specifically at the guidebook, it originated in April of 2017, and it has been updated, and there's a version 1.2 that was released March 2018. So it outlines the methodology for collecting, aggregating, and reporting facility data to the National Transit Database. And within the guidebook, it states that it requires assessments at a level of detail sufficient to monitor and predict performance of assets out into the future as well. So it doesn't really provide detailed information on the specifics of predictive maintenance, but you need to be able to prove that you understand the condition of your assets, you're being proactive, and you understand how they're deteriorating. Now, predictive maintenance doesn't mean having basically a crystal ball to prove an asset's going to fail on Wednesday at 2 p.m. It typically is using condition monitoring to understand its current state. It has historical information to understand the past, and then with predictive modeling to provide, proactive maintenance strategies based on um, a prescriptive analysis. So agencies are mandated to routinely collect and report facility condition ratings, and the facility assessments constitutes one of the four assets that are included in agency's TAM asset inventory. So the four capital assets are, of course, facilities that we're going to talk about today, but also equipment, rolling stock, and infrastructure. Now, facilities is obviously a very important requirement for transit agencies to report on, which is required to comply with the MAP 21 legislation requirements. And of course, transit agencies want to achieve a state of good repair. Now, what exactly is a state of good repair? There are a number of possible definitions of state of good repair and what it means. And some existing transit agencies include definitions such as a state of good repair standard is where all capital assets are functioning at their capacity within their design life, or state of good repair is achieved when the infrastructure components are replaced on a schedule consistent with their life expectancy. The FTA website proposes the following operational definition of state of good repair. An asset or system is in a state of good repair when no backlog of capital needs exist. Hence, all asset lifecycle investment needs, example, preventative maintenance and rehabilitation, have been addressed and no capital asset exceeds its useful life. This definition has the advantage that it is possible to measure how far from a state of good repair a transit agency actually is. So an asset not achieving a state of good repair has a 2 rating on the FTA term assessment score. And I'll get into the details of the term score in the next slide here. Now, if we look at the reporting requirements in the Facility Assessment Guidebook, the requirements apply to all assets with direct capital responsibility, which include passenger stations, parking facilities, administrative buildings, maintenance facilities. The only notable exception is a bus stop, for example. So a bus stop on a street or in a median is not a station if the bus stop does not have a separate enclosed building. So open shelters, canopies, lighting, signage, or ramps for accessibility alone are not enough to establish what is deemed as a passenger station. So the full asset inventory and condition data must be reported to the National Transit Database, that's the NTD. So new updated regulations require transit agencies reporting to the NTD to include condition information on assets reported to the database. So to satisfy this requirement, the condition of each facility supporting transit operations must be reported to the NTD at least once every 4 years. So the agencies must report the condition data using the Transit Economic Requirement Model, the term assessment scale of 1 to 5, which is a simple condition assessment shown on the screen. So an excellent score of 5 is no visible defects, new or in new condition still may still be under warranty if applicable. And 2 there on the screen is marginal, so this is not meeting a state of good repair because it is defective or it has deteriorated and it is in need of replacement. So it's exceeded its useful life. So in one example for track, for something not exceeding its useful life, if you're not familiar with facilities, is it's in a condition where you'd have to put in a speed restriction. So looking into the details of the condition assessment guidebook, it includes a number of examples and suggestions for the data collection. It does uh, recommend a breakdown of primary and secondary level components. So a primary example is a substructure which has secondary elements of foundation, walls, basement, and a primary shell has secondary elements of superstructure, roof, and exterior. So there is about 10 primary recommendations for primary level assets, which are listed in the document as A to J. And these are for administrative and maintenance facilities and also for passenger and parking facilities. So the overall facility rating calculation is based on the assessment of each component. And then there are suggested approaches, which include weighted average condition, median value, and of course, alternative weighting, which gives an agency much more flexibility. So the FTA guideline states that an agency may use that alternative approach provided the approach is consistent, repeatable, and that it yields a single value for each facility using the 5-point term condition scale. So they're giving you the freedom to do what you want. You just have to report it in that term scale. Now, the example on the screen is from the guidebook showing an aggregated facility condition rating, which is calculated as FR. FR is the overall facility rating, CRI is the term score, and CWI is the weighting or replacement costs. So when we look at the weighting, replacement costs should be the only method of weighting for the weighted average condition approach, as it is expected that agencies will have an understanding of their assets at the primary level. So the statement that comes from the FTA guidebook, the calculated value is step one. Step two is the rounding of the value. In the example on the screen, we're going from a calculation of 2.568 and we're rounding to 3. So you would round up above 2.5, and if the score is below 2.5, you would round down to 2. So this is from the guidebook, so it's example 5 on the screen, and it is showing the weighted average condition calculation. And in the guidebook, the weighted calculation, weighted scale is only looking at replacement costs in the one example. So an agency can use a different method, but the weighted replacement cost seems to be used in the guidebook to just simplify the method based on my opinion. So for advanced organizations, risk is typically the deciding factor. And you would use a risk analysis, and this goes far and beyond just looking at replacement costs, but it looks at the actual impact of the business, which would include things like revenue loss, environmental impact, reputational loss, or a combination of these items based on your agency needs. So you have to understand what happens when something fails and what are the causes and the effects. Now, based on the industry need, Bentley worked closely with a number of transit agencies to develop really best practice assessments based on these specific requirements. UTA actually presented on how they used AssetWise reliability as at one of our special interest group meetings, and they have been able to, provide a lot of information to allow us to mold this solution into a solution that can work for multiple agencies, and they have helped give valuable feedback to our development teams to enhance our product. So as a result of this, we're offering a sort of a commercial off-the-shelf COT solution with these templates built for transit facilities. So the solution is incorporating the best practice from a number of agencies to satisfy the FTA and NTD requirements. And it includes those best practices, pre-configured inspections, and condition assessment templates. This will kind of ensure that you can get up and off the ground quickly with your implementations. And it is, again, based on the AssetWise asset reliability inspections module. So within the standard offering, we have standard fields and forms set up to support the inventory data. So the image on the screen shows an example of the National Transit Database fields that are required. So this one is specifically showing the A10 form for the administrative and maintenance facility inventory. So there's other forms also, and they're identified as the A00, A20, A50, A55, and the A60 and A70 forms. So all the data that is associated with the facility that needs to be reported can be imported into the solution and stored, so you have a complete asset inventory that is web-based, and you have, the ability to access that information when required. Now, you could also bulk load existing spreadsheets into the solution if you have developed them already. So we can bulk load those into the system if need be. Now, in addition to the web-based solution, AssetWise Asset Reliability Inspections has a module um, for mobile applications. So there is an app available on the I guess the Apple and Google stores, and it's called the Collector. So it provides a sleek graphical interface that is really tailored for field users, enabling them to perform their jobs better with higher accuracy. So that's what we want to do. And I'll be showing the mobile application in action. There's a little video demonstration near the end of it, and it's specifically tailored to the FTA requirements. Over and above that, the inspector can easily add photos, videos, and even capture GPS coordinates during the inspection process. Um, the inspection templates, which are included by default, can be configured to meet your needs. So if you want to use the facility assessment templates that we made as a starting point, you can easily just modify them to suit your needs. So additionally, if the inspector has uh, no internet, there is offline working capabilities built into the solution, and you would upload and synchronize once you regain connection afterwards. So again, the standard facility inspection data collection templates are included with the solution to satisfy those FTA requirements for rapid implementation. So really, two preferred approaches really have emerged working with rail and transit agencies. And additionally, going through the standards ourselves and looking at the guidebook. One of them was element-based condition data collection. So this is more involved in upfront data collection, which really would enable a deeper analysis to determine where and what the problems are. So each secondary level is recorded as a percentage of the total element quantity. So identifying all primary and secondary elements that exist on the structure, there are then 5 elements that are identified in this example. So um, when we are identifying the total quantity, and the asset can basically represent multiple condition states adding up to that total quantity. So this example was originally satisfying the weighted conditions for large assets like a parking lot, right? You'd have a section of a parking lot in a poor condition, you have sections of a parking lot in good condition. Um, and this was associated, this shot here was associated with the original April 2017 guidebook for the aggregated approach alternative one. However, in the updated version of that approach, it now only represents cost. So This example is still good, but it would be used as an alternative 3 in the updated March 2018 guidebook. The second approach that did satisfy all the requirements and really enabled quicker inspections was the component-based ratings. So quick, straightforward inspections for the data collection requirements, and this really allowed for a faster startup. So each secondary level recorded on a 1 to 5 scale with drop-down boxes, and the primary level ratings are averages of the entered secondary level ratings. So this format, of course, will be shown during the video demonstration at the end of the presentation. Now, the primary level ratings are calculated from entered secondary level ratings. So this is basically rolling up all the secondary ratings into a primary rating, making the primary rating an uneditable, clear, and transparent result. So once we know the primary ratings, we can then apply the required default weighting factors. So the overall facility rating equals the weighted average using primary level ratings and the default weighting factors. Now, the weighting factors are used in the provided templates to calculate the overall facility condition rating, and they are completely configurable in the system. So if you don't agree with our weighting structure, you can have your users or administrators adjust those weighting factors based on your needs. Now, the benefits of the solution are that you'll have a single repository for your transit assets, providing a sort of a single source of truth for accurate data access. It includes complete asset histories, maintenance, and we can associate media like photographs or videos, which are then stored and easily accessible. It's configurable, it's a configurable system by the end user to really create content for your own needs to easily extend the reach beyond the agency's requirements for the FTA facility assessments. Now, the integrated inspection and maintenance system really closes the loop between inspectors and maintenance. The solution includes automatic scheduling and tracking of asset inspections, which includes intelligent tracking of requirements and due dates with alerts of upcoming inspections. It has an electronic review process that is instantaneous um, with our online report delivery with configurable workflow processes to meet your agency's digital workflow needs. And lastly, um, the point there, automatic PDF output, reporting, formatting with out-of-the-box templates. So the solution allows for instant uniform report generation. So as far as the FTA facility assessments, we have, automatic support for those FTA facility requirements, as mentioned several times. The solution has a rapid implementation to realize immediate value for purpose-built templates, which let you hit the ground running. So the mobile inspection solution supports on-site data collection, really empowering your field staff to perform inspections with higher accuracy. And the integrated inspection and maintenance system can be implemented alongside a large EAM solution. So we've worked with providing connectors to SAP, Maximo, Oracle EAM, and Infor EAM. And of course, we offer fully managed cloud services. So AssetWise will allow you to mitigate missed FTA deadlines while providing a repeatable method to produce high quality decision support for better organizational outcomes and prioritization. So the solution also has, management dashboards and reporting capabilities to allow the people making the decisions to view the inspection data, making the data, visual and easy to understand. So we would work with you to understand what information is most important to you to allow you to make informed decisions after receiving inspection data. So out of the box, the solution comes with details for upcoming inspections or overdue inspections and other reports. But again, the dashboards are configurable to really meet your needs. So dashboards can really include a high priority deficiencies and reports awaiting approval. I can go on, but again, it's needs to be flexible for your needs. Additionally, we can, plot, the search results on a map so we can see where our facilities that do not meet a state of good repair are located geographically, adding more visuals to help the user understand where and what the problems are to make informed decisions. So this example is actually showing a bridge result, bridges built before 1970 with a deck less than 7. So whether it's bridges or facilities, the tool is flexible to meet your needs because you make the decisions and you have the control. Again, more mapping. So this is just showing some integration with Google Maps and Street View. So we currently use Microsoft Bing Maps out of the box, but we can also support using Google Maps or even Esri mapping, depending on your organization's existing licensing for mapping services. Of course, more detailed conversations can happen regarding specific requirements you may have on this particular subject. I said this before, the automated report generation. Um, what would life be without reports? Especially in North America, we're obligated to store reports for the most part in transit. So the report generation is a process that is, highly automated and it's completely configurable so you can um, report on the data in any format you need to report it on. Now this here is the collector demonstration. So this is showing things from a inspector's point of view. So the inspector would log in and see the inspections that they are responsible for. We can also do it not only by schedule sorting, but by distance. So if we're in the field and we want to see something we're responsible for that's close nearby, we can simply do that through a filter. Now I'm going to go back to schedule date here and go to the Meadowbrook Building 3. So we can see an image, we can see asset information, scheduling information. We can see the report types. So the admin and maintenance facility assessments is there uh, in the drop down. And I'm just going to tap on create report here. And you can see the out of the box FTA facility primary reporting on the left hand side. You can see inspection information, scheduling information. You could have some GIS information there as well. There's nothing loaded in this. You can see who the inspector is and who it was assigned to. And over and above that, I'm going to click on the admin and maintenance facility inventory form. This is the A10 form, pre-configured as per the FTA requirements. The yellow fields are just automated fields from previous information. I'm going to go into a specific substructure form and I'm going to change the rating from a 5 to a 3 and from a 4 to a 3. You can see how the yellow box changes from yellow to white because it's changed. If you have an internet connection in the field, you can do the voice dictation to do your notes so you're not typing on the screen. We're going to go back out here and then go to the shell, change one of the roof ratings. And what we're going to do is take a picture. It's blacked out on purpose because we're in an office. And then we can associate that picture with a defect note, and then upload that to the report. Go back, click on electrical. You can see that the pre-populated fields are there. Go back to the pictures and files for this facility. You can see my defect picture is within the media section. And when I back out, you can see some files attached at the bottom there. One file has been attached. Go back out, you can see there's an icon with a pencil and a piece of paper as that inspection is in progress, and I can perform other inspections while I'm inspecting something else. Now what I want to do is I want to upload that data up to the main server, and I simply select upload, and then that data would become available in the back office. It's a really quick demonstration, but you can see some of the out-of-the-box templates that have been created so you can start up quickly. Now, the reality is your success is our success at Bentley, and we have success plans that we can build with you. We can, define your business and state of good repair needs together, develop the FTA facility assessment program, and execute that that assessment program. Of course, this is a very simplified way of looking at it in 3 steps. It's obviously a lot more complicated, but we have success plans, so we work with you and we're with you along that journey towards continuous improvement. So the State of Good Repair initiative in the United States has been, a successful enabler to get transit agencies thinking about proactive maintenance and asset management really as a holistic system. So there are, numerous benefits to having good quality data to support delivering a state of good repair for transit. And some of them go beyond the core requirements of the FTA assessment requirements that I was talking about today. But some of the benefits are that we can understand the required investment. We can define a strategy to really improve asset condition, understand the ROI for maintenance activities, help make informed maintenance decisions, increase safety, which is huge in transit. We all know that. And of course, increase user satisfaction, increase value for money from maintenance activities, right? Cost avoidance, doing the right maintenance. We need data to do that. So it is critical to define a clear um, incremental strategy for how to move from the current state to a state of good repair if we're not in a state of good repair with incremental and really deliverable steps that can be measured along the way and measured towards a vision of continuous improvement. So that's all I really had today. My email is up on the screen, so if you want to send me a direct email about something that you saw today or perhaps something else, feel free to email me. You can also add me on LinkedIn. I often post things related to asset management or lifecycle management on LinkedIn. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this presentation. I hope you found it valuable. And thank you and have a good rest of the day.